Listen up, cluckheads.
You're listening to Whiskey and Whine
With Rooster and
The Madman, where we talk about common sense, current events,
the Constitution,
and morals, while comparing drinks of yesteryear to drinks of today.
so sit back, relax, leave us a comment.
Here comes Whiskey and Whine.
Welcome back, cluckheads. You know who we are. You kind of know what we do around here. So, episode 11.
Episode 11. We are actually going to be reviewing the Tournament of Fermentations.
Yeah, so we're going to do something a little bit different for you kids today. So rather than our normal, hot topics and our current topics and all that kind of stuff, we're actually just kind of review what we've done in the last 10 episodes. And it looks like we're going to be giving our liver a little bit of a break today, too.
Now remember, over the past 10 episodes, we have sacrificed our body for the greater good. Our liver, our kidney, to help you not buy what you see some other people buy.
We're saving America.
Yes, we are. One liver at a time. All right, so tonight, we actually have no bottom of the barrel, no top of the barrel, but what we have is liquid death sparkling water and just liquid death
Mountain water.
mountain water.
Yeah. Murder your thirst. That's what it
Murder
says.
your thirst.
Murder.
This is the official drink of the Clinton Foundation.
Oh, man, I forgot to check that page today.
It's me. All right, so I normally start this off.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have the liquid dust sparkling water straight from the Alps, 16.9 fluid ounces, and it does say, "Murder your thirst."
It does. I mean,
So
it's a pretty cool can, too. It's black.
The can is actually pretty tight. I've planned on keeping
Calligraphy.
it.
So,
So
yeah.
here we go.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh.
Really nice
And
sound.
that
So
is
let's
the-
do this. Let's do the Biden test.
Yeah.
It has a smell to it, but I can't. It might just be because the carbonation is just kind of.
Smells like carbonated water.
Yeah, I think so. Might just be because I'm not used to smelling carbonated water over the past 10
Well,
minutes.
there's water in some of the alcohol we've been drinking, right? So
Okay, so here comes the pours.
here comes the pour. Here comes the pour.
And it's effervesce. Who knew?
Ooh, it's bubbly.
It is very bubbly.
So
Actually, it's more bubbly than some of the carbonated beverages that we've had on here.
Well, we've had some pretty bad beverages on the show.
I didn't say bad. I said carbonated.
All right.
All right, so
You want to give it a go taste-a-roo here?
There we go.
Oh, you can top us off a little bit more?
Top us off a little bit
Stay
more.
hydrated.
Stay
everybody.
hydrated. Murder your thirst.
Yes. All right.
All
Let's
right.
give this one a
So,
little drink here.
no.
Oh, wait. No,
we
we're
haven't
not-
opened the other one
Every
yet.
episode
Every
I-
episode you do this. You are part of this radio show. How do you mess this up
Dude,
every week?
I get excited when I see all the drinks.
You
and
see
I
all
just
the,
start
get
going,
all the drinks and you get all cluck happy.
All right. Mountain water. Now, this one looks exactly like the other can, except this can is white. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds refreshing. Get the pour going here.
Smells like water.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no smell.
There's no smell. This is definitely not Still Reserve smell.
Oh, gosh. No, it is not.
All right.
All right.
So,
Well, the mountain water is a little bit cloudier to the mineral water, but I guess that's because it, got
it is. I'm assuming it's because
Mountains
it's got
in it?
like minerals.
It came from the mountains.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, cool.
It probably has like elk, possibly has like some traces of elk piss in it or something.
Well, my grandfather once told me that it's not fresh mountain spring water until it's rolled down the hill over a dead dog and and possibly a deer.
This is not the Chinese dog meat festival.
No. All right, so which one we want to taste first?
The mountain does not bubble.
Well, it's 'cause it's not carbonated.
The Mad Hen has brought that up. If you couldn't hear, and it's. I mean, obviously it won't because it's not.
Yeah.
It's not carbonated.
So
So we always start with me.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's go ahead and grab that carbonated one.
Carbonated.
And here's to episode 11, and here's to replenishing our livers.
Maybe.
That's actually a carbonated water I like.
Yeah,
I've
tastes
tried
like carbonated water.
I've tried several. I mean, like I've tried Topo Chico and some of the Perrier and stuff like that, and they always taste weird. This one doesn't really taste weird. It's
good.
It's good. So
Needs a little alcohol, but it's good.
I was about to say it'd probably go really good with some Svedka or some Skol.
Skol.
No.
Vodka flavored vodka.
Vodka flavored vodka.
Wow.
Okay, so what we're going to we've put together the 20 alcohols that we have tasted over the past 10 weeks, and we're going to do a quick review, and then we're going to tell you our top 3 of the winners, our top 3 of the losers. So that very first week, we had Kraken versus Bent Distillery. That was our rum week.
Release the Kraken.
It's prickly on the inside. Oh, God.
Made me feel like a pirate. Well, all rum makes me feel like a pirate. But I think the vodka made me feel like a pirate, too.
There were several things that after you started sipping, you started having your pirate moment.
Oh, and I think of the mead. That made me feel like a pirate, too.
But the thing I remember about the Bent is that especially since they're local here to Louisville, North Texas, and it's kind of out of their wheelhouse. They mainly do like whiskeys and stuff.
Yeah, typically they make whiskeys. They do have other spirits they do, but this one I had been bugging them for a while, and I'm sure it wasn't just because of me on that one. But I had been.
And it was a 5-year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had been bugging Natasha for a couple of years on this one, and she'd been aging a barrel. She aged it 5.5 years before she finally cracked that barrel and had it put in a bottle.
The Bent was very, very smooth.
Yes, it was. It was a great rum.
The Kraken, I'm pretty sure I swallowed a cactus.
Yeah, I mean, Kraken gets a bad rap though. I said it on the
don't
mind it. I mean, when you only got a couple bucks and you want to feel like a pirate,
there's
Kraken's there for you.
If you only have a couple bucks and want to feel like a pirate, I'm pretty sure I can direct you down to Harry Hines in the Walnut Hill area, and you can feel like a pirate.
Yeah, Madman, I don't know if I ever told you, but I'm allergic to penicillin, so I'm not going down there.
All right. Obviously Bent won that one.
Yeah, that was a Bent. Yeah, it's simple.
Then the second week we had Natty Light versus Deep Ellen Blonde, and I remember you saying that it was your go-to because it was right there at the refrigerator when you were checking out if you only had a couple bucks.
Well, yeah, you usually find it right there. Not like you don't even have to go back to the refrigerator section. It's usually in that little weird ice cooler that's right there next to the register.
I remember you talking about it.
And the guy will put it in a little brown bag for you, no extra charge.
What's that for? Being a former law enforcement, what's that for?
It keeps it cold.
Okay, so after all that experience, is it still your go-to because it's just in that little cooler right there?
No, no, it's not. It's really not. I mean, it's not worth it.
It's not worth the
another
extra.
$1. You get something way better.
Way better. So Deep Ellum definitely won.
Yeah, those guys in Deep Ellum Brewery, they do a great job.
They really do. And then of course they're here in Dallas.
Absolutely.
Now week 3 we had Woodbridge versus Falls Creek Classic Wine.
Dude, that week was rough.
The wine week.
That week was rough. I am not a wine guy to begin with.
Neither am I.
But I'm pretty sure Woodbridge was just straight up salad dressing vinaigrette.
Now wasn't that the night that the ringmaster was here?
Yeah, it was. I mean, the look on everybody's face when they sipped the Woodbridge was priceless. I'm pretty sure the Mad Hen here actually put it on her salad.
If I remember correct, she actually did sprinkle it on her salad that night. It was just bad.
Yeah,
it came in a 6-pack of the little bitty bottles.
It was a 4-pack.
It was a 4-pack.
It was a 4-pack, and it was highly recyclable plastic bottles. If you remember, I could beat that one on the side of my head. Yeah, it was. And then we found after that the bottle actually had a slight color to it to help give it a wine color.
It wasn't even the wine that was colored. It was the bottle.
Well, it had a color. It was just it made the bottle made it look better. Either that or it seeped into that plastic because it did something. Because it's garbage.
So yeah, Falls Creek Classic
Falls Creek. Yeah,
definitely
absolutely.
won that one. And then
I got to say though, on Woodbridge, those people should be ashamed of themselves.
they should be, but they should not be as ashamed of themselves as the people from Week 4, because Week 4 will forever be burned into my memory.
Absolutely.
And that was the Steel Reserve versus Shiner.
So a little Steel Reserve, before we even got into it, when we first started this show, we weren't even really cracking it where you could hear it open on the microphone. That one, we got ahead of ourselves, and we cracked this big bad boy open, and it sat on the table, and the entire studio, within about 30 seconds to a minute, started smelling funky. Not like it smelled like beer, like an old bar,
and not like James Brown or Parliament Funk.
No, we're talking like
it's not like Bootsy Collins was slapping the bass
down. There's a sewage
low.
trap backed up somewhere.
It was just horrible.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, that week was the week that I remember the most. And for the next 2 days, I had such horrible heartburn. And every time I burped, I could taste that Steel Reserve.
The entire state of Wisconsin should be ashamed of Steel Reserve. It just should.
In fact, that was the one that you said that you thought that they were brewing it.
I'm pretty sure this has to be one of the oldest brewery plants in the entire United States. Use lead line pipes that is, there's just I don't know what's going on. It's a funky color. It's a funky smell, and the taste is even worse than the color and the smell. It is the worst beer I have ever had in my life.
If there is one that I would say that they should be ashamed of, it is that one. They should be ashamed of themselves to where that they can't even look themselves in the mirror. Every time they wake up, they are taking the walk of shame.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say whoever the CEO of Steel Reserve is, his mom is ashamed of him. But luckily we had Shinerbach, so that kind of
just like you said, it's Shiner.
It
makes you happy.
Oldest brewer in the state of Texas.
Yep. Now the next week was whenever we finally got to our whiskeys. And that was the Kentucky Deluxe versus the Gentleman Jack. And I know y'all can't see it because it's a podcast. The Rooster literally just hung his head and closed his eyes because this was the week that we started a science experiment because the Kentucky Deluxe started eating through the glass, the paper cup.
Yeah, there was nothing salvageable in that whiskey. And wait, hold on. It was actually it was a whiskey, which is weird because it was a Kentucky whiskey and not a bourbon, which already goes against the rules of spirits.
But we had two guests in here that night, and if you remember, one of them took a sip and then starts trying to wipe it off their lips.
You guys can only see this on the airwaves where she's wiping her lips off with a napkin because it tastes so bad. But remember, it is the official drink of SeaWorld.
It did have it
was a carry pack.
It was listed as a carry pack, so you could take it to SeaWorld.
Take it anywhere.
Up to the pool.
And you guys didn't get to hear this when we did this after the show. It had an 800 number on it. I actually called the 800 number on it, but it just went from one Ford voicemail to another Ford voicemail.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, I was kind of curious to see what it was, but we did put that up against Gentleman Jack, so yeah, that's a higher end Jack Daniels. So
and and for being $30 for the Gentleman Jack bottle, it's completely worth it. I mean, it's just smooth. Yeah. It tastes better.
Yeah, there was nothing good about the
Kentucky
Deluxe.
Good about it. Nope.
Nothing. Nope.
Then the next week, on episode 6, we went to vodkas.
Skol. Also, in Kentucky for some reason.
It was.
In the same exact bottle as Kentucky Deluxe.
And then what was funny about that is that the minute we cracked the Skol open, it smelled like rubbing alcohol.
It didn't even smell like good rubbing alcohol. It smelled like the Walgreens or CVS brand of rubbing alcohol. Not even like the Johnson & Johnson.
The Equate brand of rubbing alcohol.
Of alcohol. It was not good, but it did state on the bottle, vodka flavored vodka.
And I remember that, and once again, this wasn't on the show, we were doing it afterwards. We were trying to figure out what is vodka flavored vodka. And we never could find a definition of it.
It's rubbing alcohol. That's pretty much what it is.
But we had it up against the Svedka,
which was recommended by the ringmaster himself.
It was recommended by the ringmaster.
It was good. I mean,
and he knows it. I mean, it was a really good one.
And I learned something I did not know, that vodka could be made in Sweden. I thought it was all.
I thought it was all made.
I thought it was all moose and squirrel.
Good job, Natasha.
So Svedka, that's obviously the winner. It was actually I'm not a vodka guy, and I like. And
I'm not a vodka guy, and I could taste the differences between the two.
That was a good vodka.
That was a really good vodka. And then on episode 7, we took one of the Overlord DJ Gunn's favorites, the Fireball, versus the Jack Fire.
Yeah, Jack Fire, made by Jack Daniels. So, I know it's the Overlord's favorite, and it's probably in his dungeon.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No,
okay.
No, it's not probably. It is. It is.
It is in there.
Right next to the Still Reserve and John Kerry.
Oh, yeah, it was horrible. So, Fireball, it wasn't horrid, but against a real cinnamon whiskey, you could tell the difference.
And we didn't know until that night that the reason that Fireball has its name is because they actually use the exact same flavoring as the Atomic Fireball.
Yeah, they get it from the candy company and then put it into a liquor.
So we didn't know that until afterwards. But, I mean...
It's not the worst drink I've ever had.
It was not the worst. Yeah. And up until that point, that was the best of the low ends.
It was. It really, that we finished that episode stating that Fireball, of all the low ends we've had, Fireball at that point was the better one. And I'm going to specify, at that point.
At that point. Now, and you already mentioned it a second ago, the Jack Fire, it definitely tasted more like what I would expect the cinnamon to taste like.
It was cinnamon-infused whiskey.
Yeah, it was good.
So it was good.
Then the next week on episode 8, we had the Mead, the Texas Renaissance Festival versus the Viking Blood.
I wanted to go a Viking.
You wanted to go a Viking. And that's when the episode we also found out that skulls were dishwasher friendly.
Yes. So you can, if you drink the blood from the skulls of your enemy, yes, it is dishwasher friendly. And no, I'm not going to tell you how I know this. But
it's me.
It's me. So, I mean, the weird thing is, again, I've never had mead until that night. I mean, I've heard about it. I've heard good things about it, and okay things about it. I don't really know anybody who drinks a lot of it. I heard, I've had this one; it's pretty good. So the Texas Renaissance one, I remember that one tasted just like honey. It tasted like a honey straw.
It tasted like bit of honey,
or bit of honey.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like old school bit of. But what I did notice about the bit of honey. Texas Renaissance Festival mead was that afterwards, I mean, it was like I had like a sugar rush. Like I had really bad I wouldn't call it indigestion or heartburn, but it was just like you had eaten too much candy.
Yeah, but let's be honest. All of the low ends gave us heartburn. I mean, it's just a common.
Yeah, and that's
factor.
why I was saying that this wasn't like heartburn. It was just like you'd eaten like too much.
Yeah, it was like diabetes in a bottle kind of deal.
Yeah,
diabetes.
Got the diabetes.
But I gotta say this:
Viking blood though, that took me by surprise.
Now that I joked about wanting to go a Viking, I see what the Vikings liked. That the bottle was just. It was rad.
That bottle was the
cool.
best bottle.
It was an
old
school medieval ceramic bottle. Had the cool old cork, and it was what was it? I think it was a hibiscus.
It was hibiscus, jasmine, and
it was great.
Yeah, whatever it was, they need to keep doing it.
Yeah, it was great. I just felt like I should be speaking like Vikings from then on out. Like, who's their chieftain?
I could just see you now prancing through the fjord.
The fjord.
Losing your ever-clucking mind, drinking some Viking blood.
But it was great, man. I would do it again. I mean, it was one of the most expensive ones we've done. And it was worth every penny
of it. Now, on week 9, we took a step backwards from Viking blood.
Oh, yeah.
And we went back with one of the Overlord's choices between 2 beers. We went with Miller High Life and then the Deep Elm Blonde. And in defense of the Overlord, I get the High Life. At one point in life, High Life
was my go-to.
It was not your high point in life, was it?
When I didn't have a lot of money, man, I could go to King Arthur's Court. I mentioned this in the episode. Do the drive-through beer store. It looked like an old castle. They tore it all down. Nostalgia's gone anymore. But and these guys were so cool. I could get an entire long neck bottle case for $11, and he would always ask me, "Do you want a 6-pack? Do you want me to give you a 6-pack in the cab for the ride home?"
We do not advocate
$11
drinking and driving.
Customer service. I mean,
but whenever we did compare it to the Deep Ellen Blonde, there was no comparison.
Yeah, no, it's
the Deep
it's
Ellen
still
Blonde.
low end versus the higher end. I mean, the fact if you drink any beer that's in a clear glass bottle, I promise you, it's low end.
I will take that into consideration. And then we ended on episode 10 with Boone's versus Artisan Bay.
Yeah, this one was weird. This
was a caveat. It was weird.
Boone's Farm. I mean, every teenager from the 80s through the mid 90s knows about Boone's Farm. Probably even all the way back to the 70s. But I mean, it's under $4. It's a huge bottle.
That was the first low end that we finished.
It was, and I was actually sad because I wanted more, and it was gone. And then we did it with the high end, which was Artisan Bay, which was another fruity-inspired rose and pomegranate
from South Africa. We just had a guest just go bleh.
Yeah, because as I stated on that one, it was tasted like an elephant's butthole. So,
which we're still trying to determine how
it's classified.
Okay, as long as somebody knows.
Sorry, can't talk about it.
So we have our winners, we have our losers. Before we get to our individualized top 3, I'm actually going to take a sip of the regular Liquid Death.
Oh yeah, let's switch over to that one.
That's really good water.
That's good. That's good water.
I am
murdering my thirst.
You are murdering your thirst. This is really good water.
This reminds me of Crazy Water out of Mineral Wells. Have you ever been down there?
Yes, actually, it does.
So
remind
it's
me
kind of like their number 2 or number 3. Where it's got a little bit more mineral content to it. So, and number 4 that's a tough one to do. I like the Crazy Fizz, which is the one that, where it's got the bubbly water going on. Anyways, we're digressing. We're not talking about those. We'll have to put that on the show one of these days.
So, the top 3. What were your top 3?
Top 3. So, I'm a beer guy, but believe it or not, the Viking Blood. Dude, hands down, coolest thing. Tastiest thing, best drink that we've had in these 10 episodes.
So that's your number 1?
That's my number 1.
What's your 2 and 3?
Number 2, Schotterbach. It's my go-to beer now. I'm an adult. So, I don't go to the High Life and the Natty Lights anymore.
Are you an adult?
My driver's license says I am. And then, rounding up in the third one there is Deep Ellum. I mean, if you like blonde beers, that's, like hoppy kind of beer, that's a great beer to go to. So,
and then my top 3, honestly,
you don't like blonde,
the Viking Blood, I was the most surprised by it.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, the best that we had. So that's my number 1. My second one, I'm giving it to Bent. They went out of their wheelhouse. It was a good rum. It was
a fantastic.
It was
rum.
a fantastic rum. And then my third, Deep Ellen Blonde.
Can't go wrong.
I mean, you just can't go wrong with it. I mean,
it's not prickly on the inside.
It's not prickly on the inside.
It's nice and smooth.
But I will give the mad props to Boone's.
Yeah, that was crazy. I would have never in a million years. I actually got the Boone's thinking it was going to be that joke that I played on the crew here of, oh, look at this. Rooster brought in Boone's Farm. Now we all got to drink this garbage. And it was amazing. Cold, even throw some ice on that. I mean, your teeth and your tongue are going to be blue, but it was great.
You're kissing Smurfette, but it was good.
Yeah. So, but now I know why Gargamel was chasing those Smurfs. He was trying to make
some blue Hawaiian snow cones. Okay, and then our bottom of the barrels. What were your worst 3?
All right. So, worst drink I have had ever. Steel Reserve. Not just on this show. It is the worst beer on the planet. I am pretty sure there's a beer that came out of Africa where they actually take the nuts out of elephant poop and then turn it into a beer that is going to be better than this crap.
Oh.
Again, it's classified how I know about all this elephant stuff.
Is that classified with how you
It's still classified.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, and then my next one behind that is it's not as bad as Steel Reserve, but it's pretty close to being as bad as Steel Reserve, is that Kentucky Deluxe. I know you can take it to SeaWorld with your kids, but dude.
That was rough.
Oh, my gosh. There's a reason they didn't call it bourbon, because they're ashamed of it in Kentucky.
Everybody in Kentucky just like, hey, you want some pizza? No.
And then we'll round it off. So my last one is that elephant butthole Artisan Bay.
Artisan Bay.
There's a reason no one says, hey, you know what? I want a pomegranate in rose wine from South Africa. Because it sucks.
No, okay, so you weren't over at the Overlords get together for Locked and Loaded. If you remember, whenever we were doing that episode, you said we're just going to put the cap back on that.
Yeah.
So, whenever we went over to the Locked and Loaded cookout, the Mad Hen snuck that into the cooler, and as we were listening to the show live, she let the Overlord have some. And she let some of the guests have some. And every single person, the look on their face was the same look that we had, and just went, why? Why would y'all drink this? And I just looked them in the eyes, and I said, because we care.
Why would you do this?
We're sacrificing our body so you don't have
that
to.
was a sacrifice. I mean, that was throwing yourself on the sword right there, jumping on that grenade. I mean, you know what's funny is the one thing that has in common with the worst three that I talked about on here is every one of those three, we did not finish the bottle.
That is true. That is very true. And this may come as a surprise. My worst three are the exact same.
Wait, no, I'm not surprised at all, because they're trash. They're absolute trash.
In fact, if you remember, whenever we were doing the Steel Reserve episode, I accidentally grabbed the cup.
You almost died.
And I thought it was the Shatter Bock, and it caught me off guard, and I almost died that night. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad one. I mean, it was funny for me. I felt bad for you, but the show must go on.
Yeah. You had somebody just over in the wings on standby,
Yeah.
Go ahead and give him the Heimlich, get him back up.
So you had your mad props, so I'm going to have to slap one down that's not in the worst three. But it is a cluck you drink. Woodbridge.
Woodbridge.
Come on, people.
Cluck you, and I mean that with all disrespect.
There's no reason for that. Let me tell you guys, if Woodbridge is your go-to, I said this in the episode, seek help. Or at least switch over to Sutter Home or something else. They got this stuff in a box now. You don't have to buy that stuff.
You are a successful adult. You do not have to drink Woodbridge.
No, don't drink Woodbridge. It's. I'm sure there's far better that's still around that same low budget price. So.
Well, that was the best of and the worst of the alcohols.
It was the best of times.
It was the worst of times. That was the best of and the worst of in the first 10 episodes as far as our alcohol tournament goes.
So what do you think about which one's better on the box wine right there?
Yep, Matt Hen just put up some Franzia.
34 ounces? What is it? 34 glasses worth of that one. So
wow.
Chablis.
We can just go ahead and hook that up to an IV and just hold it up.
So Liquid Death, which one do you think, man?
I actually like them both.
Yeah, I do too. I think I like the mountain water a little bit better than the fizzy water.
I like the mountain water a little bit better just because I don't generally like a bunch of the bubbly stuff.
It's pretty cool.
I like it. Well, this has been episode 11 where we counted everything down. Tune in next week where we will start a brand new tournament. And make sure that you enjoy your Independence Day weekend this weekend. And remember, in a world full of chickens,
be a rooster.
You're listening
to Whiskey and Wine.
Thanks for tuning in to Whiskey and Wine with the Rooster and the Madman, where you can catch brand new episodes every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Deep Dallas Radio on Locked and Loaded with DJ Shane Douglas.
Special thanks to our sponsor, GiftedChicken.com, home to all your beard, bath, and body care needs. Veteran owner operator right here in North Texas. You're going to pick up a bottle of Overlord's Dungeon Oil. It's all natural coconut oil.
Leaves you prickly on the insides.